to another post-game edition of whatever we just saw. The Texans now fall to 2-4 on the season following a Monday Night Football loss in Seattle to the Seahawks. The final 27-19. As always, we are taking your one word to describe this game. My name is Jason Bristol inside the KHOU 11 newsroom. As always, thanks for joining us as we break down what we just saw, and we will hear from head coach D'Amico Ryans following this loss. This was something. I see Brian is already weighing in. So Brian has our first word. And, yep. Pathetic. That is the first word on the board. I'm going to put two of them. I'm going to put typical, because this is what we have seen from the Houston Texans in 2025. The offense can do little to nothing against legitimate NFL defenses. The defense does more than enough to keep the team in the game, and then we get this. I have so many notes written down from this game right here. But again, the formula for the Texans is the defense will keep games close, maybe make a big play to put points on the board, and then, oh, by the way, whatever you can get from the offense is what you're going to get from the offense. And right now, this team against legitimate NFL competition, i.e. not the Titans, i.e. not an injury-riddled Ravens team, this is what you get. And give the Texans credit. They battled, they hung in there. But again, you're facing a team that, and even Sam Darnold said after the game, the ESPN production, which you saw on KHOU 11, that they need to be more consistent. They left a lot of plays out there. Clint Kubiak went for a dagger with the flea flicker that ended up into the hands of one of the Texans. And it's a situation where they could have put this game away, and basically they allowed the Texans to stay in it. Again, that defense is going to keep you in games. Roland is checking in. He says, sad in advance for the next game. Yeah, this team does not give you much hope offensively. And again, it's a situation where everybody knows what is going on with the Texans. The Texans knew what was going on with the Texans in the offseason. Why else did they make wholesale changes on the offensive line? But what they tried to do has not worked. And I think most of us believed that it wouldn't work. Ed Ingram was one of the great finds of the NFL offseason. But what you have out there right now, CJ has no time. In fact, really the only productive moments, rolling CJ out, helping him buy some time, finding Dalton Schultz out there, creating space by rolling him out, play action. That was really some of the most productive plays, but you can't do that on every single down. You just can't do it. Luis says, not good at all. Yes, not good at all. Now, granted, you are facing one of the best defenses in the National Football League. And this team, based on what you were hearing from the commentators, they believe this is a Super Bowl caliber type team, the Seahawks. But man, it's just a struggle offensively. But we've seen this. We've seen it weeks 1, 2, and 3, and then 3 quarters of the game against the Titans. And I'm not even certain that the Texans clearly know how to use the personnel they have. It's gotten to that point. I've been kind of thinking that, but this game, Abel says this offense is allergic of the end zone. Yeah, that's one word. That's one way of putting it. As again, we are waiting to hear from D'Amico Ryans and possibly CJ Stroud. Go through the numbers, and CJ, 23 of 49, right? 23 of 49, 229 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 INT, a quarterback rating of 59. Sam Darnold looked in control for most of the game, but there were some moments where we saw the old Sam Darnold. 17 of 31 for 213 yards. Lupita says, "Ooh, the struggle bus." I wish that was one word, but instead we'll just put struggle on the board. Struggle bus. And here's the thing. There isn't a driver for the struggle bus because there's so much struggling going around. Third down efficiency, 2 of 15. Seattle was 2 of 14. They basically gave you a lot of opportunities to get back into this game. And if you had a adequate offense, this game you possibly could have won. Now, a lot of it was garbage time, I get it, but when you have, 19 yards of offense in the first half until that last drive? Luis, like there's no rhythm, nothing. They look lost. You are exactly right. And I think a lot of that has to do with what's going on up front. They just cannot protect. And this is nothing new. This is nothing new. But there was a comment by, it was either Riddick or Orlovsky about how they believe that someone like Jalen Noel will be a bigger part of the offense moving forward based on what some of the plays he was making when Nico Collins went out. I'm not certain that that's actually going to happen. Braxton Berrios, who looked very good in the preseason, has done nothing in the regular season. He was inactive, and then all of a sudden, he gets thrown into the punt return duties? We were very complimentary of Braxton Berrios in the preseason, but Jalen Noel seemed to be doing really well in that role. Then Tomlinson started the game at guard, and that has not gone well this season. Lauren says it ain't CJ by any means. I would say it's mostly not CJ's fault. And I've been saying that, and I will continue to say that. Yes, the long sack, I think it was a loss of 18. Maybe he held on to the ball a little too long on that one. But there were times where the rush was coming. They mentioned it on the broadcast. They used the term navigate, which was a really good word, I think. Navigate the pocket, and he was moving up. There was a second down play where Nico dropped the ball 99 out of 100 times. Nico Collins makes that play. I thought CJ did a pretty good job of getting in and out of trouble, with the exception of that one play. Luis says, we need a spark, bring in our backup quarterback as of now. I don't know if that is the answer. I mean, let's not forget 2023 CJ Stroud. Let's not forget that. I don't know if Davis Mills, I know some of our colleagues in the media have mentioned that maybe Davis would have possibly done better in some of these first 3 games. And that's possible, but he's your franchise quarterback, and everything, your success for the next 10 years, 5 years is hooked to that guy, and I don't think that you can. I don't think you can go that route. Here's the thing about CJ. He does not give up. And once again, he was playing right until that last whistle, being the leader that he is and doing the best that he could based on the circumstances. Adrian, we need a new play caller for real. We need a new OC. You might be on to something. You might be on to something. Because what we're seeing from this guy, all right, D'Amico Ryans is speaking at the podium, so in a few moments we will hear from him. But I think he's going to say that he liked the team's fight, but he's also going to say that you cannot turn the ball over 4 times and expect to win against a team like the Seattle Seahawks. Penalties? Oof. That's why this game lasted so long. 10 for 105 yards for the Texans. Seahawks 12 for 93. Again, the Seahawks, they were leaving it there. They were leaving some crumbs for the Texans to take. Another thing that I learned from this game is that that Seattle receiver, he's the real deal. It was interesting on KHOU 11 Sports Extra. For KHOU 11 News in the mornings, Seth Payne had mentioned he was very eager to see how, with the bye week and preparation, how Derek Stingley Jr. would fare this week. And it did not at times go well, which is, that's your all-pro corner. And one thing that I kept thinking back to this past week was D'Amico Ryans saying that this game was going to be one of those eye tests. It was going to be all about the eyes because of how much motion and play action that Seattle uses, that they had to remain disciplined and they could not bite on everything, that they had to use the eyes to really play smart football. And there were times that the eyes, they did not pass that test. They did not pass that test. Dan says, undisciplined team starts with a head coach. He is the one that puts the culture in place. This is embarrassing for Ryans. I agree with you. The head coach, he'll tell you it starts with him and it ends with him. And we've learned in the last couple of weeks that D'Amico Ryans hasn't come out and said this, but I think you could infer that he has been spending a little bit more or putting a little bit more focus on offense. The Texans even put out a video from, maybe it was the Titans game. It was one of the last 2 games, had to have been the Titans game, that he was basically saying we have to run the ball. Run. So he'll tell you that I have my hands on everything, but it appears, based on some of the duties, that maybe he's spending a little bit more time on the offensive side, or at least making sure that what he wants done is done. Could be wrong. Hasn't come out and said it, but that's kind of the inference, the feeling, the vibe that some of us are getting. Adrian says, CJ doesn't have trust in the O-line. He has happy feet. Amen, brother. I said this last year. I said, CJ likes his offensive line. He just doesn't trust his offensive line. And I think that could be said again this year. So, it's one of those situations, again, where the Texans, it's the same old, same old. It is the same old, same old. So let's show you some of the images from the first half, some of the things that really stood out when we were looking at this game and some of the images that will be lasting ones, including this one, a poster, Smith and Jigba, and how he really was the dude. I mean, CJ knows. CJ played with him. But this guy he's the real deal, people. He is the real deal. He is the real deal. So again, we're taking your one word as we are continuing to wait to hear from D'Amico Ryans at the podium. Lupita, is that video playing or is it just frozen there?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not playing. Okay, I was like, okay, we've seen enough of,
It's the one that.
because it should be,
No, it's not.
okay.
It's showing it's only like 3 seconds long.
Oh, must have been operator error then. Sorry. Operator error. But Adrian, I agree with you. CJ just does not have trust in the O-line. And again, the Texans said it without saying it. Look what they did last year in the offseason and the beginning of this year, the moves they made. Even with an adequate offensive line, I think this team could do something just based on the defense you have. Just based on the defense you have. So, again, we're taking your one word. Yep, it's over. He already spoke already. Yep. Thank you. We're getting that here. All right. Okay. So far, in terms of words, we have pathetic, typical, and struggle. And let's see here. Export. And we can react to, we can all react to what D'Amico Ryans says. He spoke for about 4 minutes, it appears. Some other stats. Yards per rush. I mean, the numbers, listen, Seattle was in control of this game. It was very, very evident. And some of the stats are pretty even, but we all saw, right, with our eyes. Talk about eye test. Abel says, at least we have the Rockets tomorrow. Not wrong. Not wrong, man. Not wrong. Seattle was 3 of 4 in the red zone, 75%, 3 of 4. It's getting there. We have 15 more seconds. 15 more seconds here. And then obviously after D'Amico, who knows when CJ will hit the podium, but we may not even wait for that. Let's see. I'm using the NFL book here for stats. Houston's possessions: punt. That's not right. Punt, interception, fumble, given up. That's the second. I don't like this. I don't like this box. All right, so here's your rushing stats. Woody Marks, 8 carries, 14 yards. Nick Chubb, 4 carries, 11 yards. And they continue to try to run on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. Hello? You're running into the teeth of one of the best rushing defenses in football. That was curious. Maybe one run? Maybe a little play action? Roll CJ out? Dalton Schultz was your leading receiver. Evelyn says, need an offensive line and quarterback protection. Same problem for years. Yep. I've run out of ways to talk about it. Dalton Schultz was your leading receiver. Do you see it? Uh, 2 minutes away, it says. 2 minutes away. Also, Nico, four catches, 27 yards. Jalen Knoll, 2 catches, 34 yards. Jackson, Smith, and Jigba, 8, 123. He was targeted 13 times. Hey, targeting Nico wasn't a problem. He was targeted 10 times. I'm okay with that. I think all of you would be okay with that. Chubb ain't it. Nope, he's not. He's not. Woody Marks is clearly the guy that they should be going through. Your leading tacklers, Kamari Lassiter with 8, Jalen Petrie with 7, EJ Speed, Will Anderson Jr. had a heck of a game. Azeez Al-Shire had 5 tackles as well as the roughing penalty, which you can't drive or you can't slam somebody out of bounds. I know the play, he had him inbounds, but he probably should have just thrown him, held him up because you're out of bounds. I know in the heat of the moment, maybe he didn't notice that. I don't know why this isn't right. What's going on here? Let's see. Try this again. Now it's going in. Sorry about that. But again, penalties weren't great. Offensive line wasn't great. Offense wasn't great. Defense was pretty good. That's the story of the 2025 Texans. We've seen that week in and week out, other than when you're playing Tennessee and Baltimore. And I think that's what we're going to see for the remainder of the season. All right. Hear from D'Amico Ryans at the podium.
By the
Yes.
negative things. Offensively,
Here he is.
it's not good enough. It didn't move the ball good enough. We got to execute better. The main goal in this game was to control the front. We did not do that. Their front controlled us, and it wasn't good enough for us. So we have to find a way to get better there. We got to score points, right? So we got to find a way to get in the end zone, have multiple opportunities. I just didn't capitalize on those.
What was the plan going into there? Because obviously they ran it out and were able to kind of burn a 2-minute warning.
Yeah, the plan at the end of the game was kicking the ball out of bounds so we could utilize the 2-minute and had a timeout. And we did not execute that. Again, just goes to the entire game. So, frustrating that we're not executing the things that we're coached to do.
You mentioned the lack of execution in the red zone, the mistakes. You also didn't have a lot of explosive plays. Like, how concerned are you about that, especially with Nico Collins, separate name?
Yeah, well, look, we want to be able to be explosive. We had some opportunities down the field. We just didn't connect on them. So we had guys open there. We just didn't connect, didn't make plays, didn't finish in the end zone. So just got to find a way to do a better job of finishing whatever the play called, executing the play. We just got to make sure we're able to score points.
With the way that you all played the last 2 games, do you feel like the offense kind of regressed tonight?
Today wasn't a good day for our entire team. Right? It's not just one side. All 3 phases did not do a great job today. We didn't play winning football, so we can't expect to come out with the win when you don't do the things that winning teams do.
Does Nico Collins remain in concussion protocol?
Yeah, right now, Nico is still he has a concussion, so we'll evaluate him as the week goes on.
The defense had some critical penalties early on. What did you make of it, and how did that affect the game early on?
Penalties always affect, especially the critical moments. It's third down, they're at the end of the game, like we're going to get the ball back, and it's just silly penalties that we have to be a smart football team. We have to make smart decisions, and we didn't in critical times. And again, that's not winning football.
When it comes to the play on the sideline with Aziz, what do you say to him? What did you?
I would have to look at the play to see what happened. I saw it as the tackle started in bounds, so I got to look at it and see why is that called.
And the Christian Harris thing with the shove after the Stingley play.
Yeah, I didn't see. I got to see what happened on those. But again, it's things that we control. I always look at penalties are things that we control. So we have to do a better job of controlling those and making smart decisions.
It seemed like there was a few plays, especially in the second half, where there were just free rushers at CJ on an interception. There was somebody at his feet kind of helping cause an errant throw. How do you guys just kind of get that cleaned up to pick up some of the disguised blitzes that just come through at you guys sometimes?
Yeah, look, when we continue to have the pressures that we have until we get it picked up, it'll keep happening. So we got to do a better job of coaching it, and we got to do a better job of executing it.
Where do you stand on where this team is right now?
We are what our record says we are. So, we got another opportunity. It doesn't matter. We got another opportunity coming next week, short week. It doesn't matter. We got to flush this. We got to move on, get ready for the next one.
All right.
Appreciate it.
And there you have D'Amico Ryans, that video courtesy of the Houston Texans. The goal was to control the front, which I think was a pretty lofty goal given what you have up front offensively. Didn't execute. That was pretty obvious. Didn't do the things that winning teams do. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. Now, one thing to keep an eye on moving forward now is D'Amico mentioning the situation with Nico Collins. Concussion. Will he be ready for the next game? Who knows? Obviously, the Texans need Nico Collins. And the Texans, of course, coming off this game against Seattle, will have the 49ers here on Sunday at noon. Then you have the Broncos on November 2nd. Again, I don't think anybody has confidence in this offense. The defense, without a doubt, defense will keep you in these games. But right now, and they had 15 days-ish to figure things out. And granted, I know you're going up against one of the best defenses in football, but some of the words, again, we had pathetic, typical, and struggle. I think each one of those applies to this game. And that's our one word following this 27-19 loss. Texans, 2-4. 2-4, and the Seahawks improved to 5-2. The good thing is that there are a lot of good teams that are still clumped together. But the Texans need to keep pace. They need to win games because right now, Indianapolis, they're, at least numbers-wise, the cream of the crop in the AFC. But you have them twice, so that's good. So once again, our final here is 27-19. The Texans fall to 2-4. The two-game winning streak is over. As always, thank you for joining, contributing, and being a part of these breakdowns after each and every Texans game. My name is Jason Bristol from the KHOU 11 newsroom. Once again, the final 27-19. Texans lose. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time after another Texans game here from the KHOU 11 newsroom.